Hello, Tom here, back in the loft. It's Friday and there's a bit of a storm outside, so forgive the wind noise. I'll do my best to keep it off. It's not too bad, to be honest, but it is very, very windy outside as another storm's hit the UK. So basically, I thought I'd do something different today and do a track cleaning and general sort of layout maintenance video. Been meaning to do it for a while now. As you know, I picked this up before Christmas, so I've been itching to give it a go on the 009 track to see if it can improve the running quality. And the reason why I did pick this particular item was because I have a similar item in 00. I'm not sure if Tomix made these for Dapol or the other way round, but basically these track cleaning wagons, well, the 00 gauge version is brilliant. It's multi-purpose, it has a motor in it, it's also DCC ready, so mine's fitted with a decoder, so it doesn't matter, you can run it without a decoder if you wanted to. But it's basically got a working vacuum on it, so you can see all the colour of that where it sucked up all the dust. And this is, to be honest, what I mainly use it for. It's got this brush on the front here, which you can see how dirty that is. It runs along the track, and this obviously collects up all the stuff off the track. And it's great for dust, general dust, or loose bits of flock or ballast that hasn't glued down properly. So it's a good all-rounder, this wagon. Like I say, I tend to just use the vacuum on this because I usually run it with this. So this is from Gauge Master. I think it's actually Mini Tricks or Tricks that make them. And you can see this is well worn here. So it's a track rubber. It's a very heavy wagon, so you need a powerful loco to pull it. What I tend to do is have this on the front and this behind, sucking up all the well, any excess that might come off the rubber and just any general dust behind. And again, for the 009 and the N-Gauge, we've got the Mini Tricks version of this one. Again, it's reasonably good. It's easy to change the pads on it, and yeah, it's been okay, except that the 009 sort of got worse over the last few months in terms of reliability, and it's mainly my fault for burying half the track, and it's very hard to get access to it. And what tends to happen is the locos seem to lose power halfway through and get stuck. Now, if I knew what I knew now, I had to put more dropper wires in it to provide power all the way around the back, and obviously didn't, and it's a bit late now without ripping up any scenery. So what I'm hoping is a combination of cleaning the track with this and this will help get it back going again. If not, I've got the messy job of ripping off the top half of the layout, which I don't really want to do, to sort it out. So main reason for this video. So what we'll do is we'll get the 00 gauge set up on the track, and we'll move on to the 009 section. Okay, so after your track rubber's got so worn off like this one is, it's time to replace it with a new one. So I've got one here. So this cost me just over £5. The wagon itself, I think, cost me just under £40, but that was probably about 5 years ago. And I've seen them second hand now, or at stores pre-owned, even though they look new looking, for around £30–35. So if you can get them for that price, that's pretty good. You can get a Hornby 4-wheel coach that's been going for years. I don't know if they're actually still available or not. We always see them second hand, and they're okay, but they are a bit more lightweight, but they do a purpose. So I'd recommend you get this one, to be honest. Or if you just want a basic all-rounder, or a decent all-rounder I should say, get this one. I'm lazy, so I'd sooner have both so I don't have to swap them over. And I find this actually does rub the track quite well, as it's very, very heavy. So this is the only fiddly bit here. Just once you take the two screws out, you got to put the springs back, and then try and gently place this back on top of the springs so they don't go anywhere, and just screw it back into place. So it's pretty simple, and to be honest, I don't change these pads all that often. I used to lose that spring, so it's not all that expensive really. And I suppose general cleaning of the track depends on how often you run trains on it and get an oil and so on, but that's why I like the vacuum cleaner, because whether you run trains or not, your track's going to get dusty. And also the reason why I run the hoover behind this is you can see the dust that's coming off this already. That's going to be rubbing on the track. So yeah, well that's that anyway. So you can see it's got a nice bit of spring to it. And like I say, it's very heavy, so you need a decent loco to pull it. Okay, so the N-Gage Mini 6 wagon is far simpler. You literally just slide this, it's just wedged in. You can see the angle the rubber's cut in. And it's a bit of a strange material this, I'm not too sure what it actually is. It's not like your general track rubber. I suppose with N-Gage you might not be able to take the weight. Then we got a new one, so I've got a bag of, I think it was a bag of about 6 or more. Again, that was probably about a 5 and something like that. So this one just slots in like that, and might look like a loose fit, but I've never had a problem with them coming out or anything. And again, it's got a nice bit of spring to it, and it's also very heavy, so it does do a job. Anyway, so let's have a look at the Dapol one now. Okay, so let's have a look at the Dapol track cleaner. So, like I say, this current bit that's in it now is the vacuum, and it can be replaced with either, so this is like a sort of sanding pad and the cleaning pad. As you can see, they're well used and they just clip in. I'd only really recommend using these very rarely, because you are taking a layer off your track. Having used this, well, this is the only piece I've actually used, to be honest, and I don't really bother. This is your polishing pad. So basically, we turn this back around now, you can lift this off and fill the reservoir with track cleaning fluid, and as the cleaning pad's spinning round, it cleans the track, and this brush here will probably collect any any residue that's on the track. And again, this is what you can get. You can buy all the spare parts for this, so don't think if you buy it, you know, that's it. You can buy these packs reasonably cheap, so plenty of polishing pads there, which is what I will use. And you get all spare screws and components. The most common thing I found to break is this little sort of spanner. I'll show you what that's for now. This is the last one, so hope you don't break it this time. So you push that in the right place, hopefully, and you use this to push your vacuum out. And we then have the polishing pad, which then clips in like that. So I'm not going to use this today, but just so you get the idea. So that spins around, so once the fluid's released out of the reservoir, it starts cleaning it. What I will do, I think, is replace this brush, because that is pretty filthy. I've got a brand new one here, and again, it's just a case of unscrewing it and screwing a new one on. So I'll just do that now. I'll find the Phillips screwdriver, or mini Phillips screwdriver. See if that will do it. So again, sorry if you can hear that wind. It is pretty it's noisy to me. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not. Okay, so just lift that out, and then this one just lifts in. I was about to say as easy as that. I still managed to make it look harder than it is. Okay, the magnetic screwdriver is no longer magnetic, so I've got to use the tweezers, and that's that. So easy as that. So what I'm actually going to do if I can. Just pull that back out. And I'm going to stick my vacuum cleaning attachment in. You just got to be careful when you're removing this spanner. You got to bend it in slightly, otherwise it ends up being snapped. But like I say, the good thing about Dapple with this product is they provide loads of spares for you, and they're easy to buy. You can see the contacts on the wagon. So we'll get it on the track now. We'll see what it picks up at the Hoover, and then we'll take a look at the 009 side. Right, you can see it's pretty noisy, and it never used to be this noisy, to be honest, but it's been well used over the last 5 or 6 years, or maybe even more, to be honest. But if I can hear it picking up bits of ballast in the vacuum. And then over this side, we've got actually got an N-gauge engine with the Mini Trix track cleaner. So because the trains weren't running well at all on this, I thought I'll give it a go with the track cleaner with a fresh pad on it, just to give the Hoover a chance. And then what we do is gradually run it all around the layout. And what I would normally do is, once one line's clean, I'll transfer the train to the next line and then run the track cleaner through here, and then the same again, run, and then just cover the whole track. It does take a while, but it's well worth it. Okay, we're just going to change tracks now. So we're going to start cleaning the inner track, hopefully. And again, what I would normally do is, once the Hoover's finished with, I would run this wagon backwards and forwards over the points. And I'd even bring the train back into this track here. So you can hear it working now. And just to give you an idea, I mean, no matter how clean you think the track is, we just put a little cotton bud on it. And this track hasn't been cleaned that long ago, but look at that. So you do get a fair bit of oil spill off locos. So that's why track maintenance is important. Right, so just before we move over to the 009 section, I just wanted to show a few little things that I think are essential for a layout, especially a bigger layout. One of these, it's a keyboard Hoover. It probably cost me around 15 quid off Amazon, and it's quite powerful for its size and considering how inexpensive it was. And the main reason for that is simple. Over time, your platforms and things get covered in dust, especially if you're in a loft like me. So having something like that on the platform, any bits of dust you see, it'll hoover up. Any bits of loose scenery on the layout, any small cobwebs, anything like that, it's quick and easy just to get that out. Give it a little hoover. And even like your footbridge here, just everywhere, no matter how clean it looks, if you look closely, there's a bit of dust on it. Also, you got a little brush attachment, so I can go over the track without doing any damage, or even just run it along flat surfaces of locos and rolling stock. Another thing I use, if the trains are a bit dusty, before I run this round with the Hoover or this Hoover, I'll just, with a very soft brush, just brush off any dust off the rolling stock. And like I say, platforms, line side, anything like that does get a hoover up every now and then, so that's good. And obviously the most important one is a little track rubber. If you get a point where, or part of the line where the trains are consistently stopping, it's easy just to give this a little rub over. I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time, because it does, you know, take a chunk out your track over time, and it does leave a residue. And again, another reason for having the hoover, once I've rubbed the track, I'll go over it again with the hoover, just to pick up any residue. So yeah, just a few little essentials I think help keep the trains running okay. Okay, let's take a look at this Tomix track cleaner and see what it's like compared to the Dapple version. So it's nicely tightly packed. I think this cost me around £55. It was actually came from America, I think. I bought it off Amazon of all places, as it was the cheapest. So it looks like an exact mini copy of the Dapple versions. See, there's the little spanner there, and our little brushes, and we can see got 6 track cleaning pads to go on. So no actual spare pads by the looks of it, but plenty of actual parts, which you wouldn't think you'd need because I've not broken any of my 00 gauge ones. But yeah, 6 of those. Got our instruction manual, which I doubt I'll be able to read. Yeah, it's all in Japanese I think, but you got a picture diagram there, and it's pretty much self-explanatory what to do. We've got more picture diagrams here. So again, all the different options. I'm not sure if this is DC ready or not, I doubt it, but you never know. So yeah, we're going to get this on the track now and see what it's like. Right, so the mini track cleaner's been round about a dozen times now, and the pad doesn't look too bad, to be honest. And it's a bit unfair to ask the 37 to pull this on. I don't think it would manage it, to be honest. So the reason why I'm using an N-gauge engine is obviously because of the couplers. So that's the inside of the vacuum chamber, and same as the Dapple one, I presume that's to put the track cleaning fluid in, which we won't use right now. And we've got because it isn't digital as far as I know, we got an on-off switch. I'm not sure what the top one means, but I suppose I'll have to look it up at some point, but it's just switched on for now, so I presume it'll come on once we turn the power on. And I presume we'll have to run the loco reasonably fast to get the full power out of it. So let's have a look now. You can hear it coming on. I'll give it a bit of speed because it is very heavy. I can already hear it picking up bits of ballast, but what I'm hoping for is to get rid of all the dust or any cobwebs that are under the tunnel the spiders might have left behind for us. Yeah, I can definitely hear that working. So we'll just run it, come and bring it back into the station now. So that's 2 runs around the layout, and we'll see what we've achieved with it. Okay, let's just have a little look. So again, you can see where some of the stuff's hit the side of the wagon there, but look at that, and that's actually what my problem must have been. Look at that, that's sawdust. That, so even though I thought I've hoovered it up in the past, there's still plenty of sawdust under there, presumably when I've drilled out lights and stuff. And like I say, don't do a layout like this where you've got no access around the back. I was just being lazy. I did intend to leave this front here so you could lift it out, but in the end it just filled us all in. I have got access underneath little holes, but again, it's not enough room to put a hoover in to clean it out. So that's just an example of what's been wrong, I reckon. So a combination of this and the 00 gauge one doing the tracks under there should keep all the dust off the track and potentially stop this getting into the gears of the locos. So I'd say if anyone wants to see a video of this with the actual track cleaner on, I'm conscious it's a long video already. Oh yeah, look at that. I only just looked at that, that's only half of it. Again, just sorry, butted it halfway through, but look, you can see general dust there as well as sawdust. So yeah, again, very happy with that. But yeah, sorry, going back to what I was about to say, if you want to see more of this wagon with the track cleaning attachments, I could always do it on the N-Gage layout in the future or on this layout. Drop it in the comments. But it's a nice bit of kit, and I'd say for £55, for me it's worth it, because if it's as good as the Dapple one, I've had that for 6 years, it's run miles and miles and miles on my layout. It's gone round so many times with the motor running, and it's done okay. So me personally, if you've got a big layout like me, or if you've got buried parts of your layout, these sort of track wagons are essential, and they're a good bit of kit to keep on your layout. So we'll just quickly have a look at the 00 section, and we'll end the video. Okay, so that's how I clean my track and keep everything running. You'd have noticed from the video that this track here was struggling a little bit. Now, I rely on the Hornby point clips, or used to, so I thought again it was dirty track, but because I clean the track now, I know it's not that. It needs a dropper wire going in. I didn't think there was a problem because the buffer light's still working, but I suppose that doesn't draw enough power. So yeah, this siding, or these two sidings here, need an extra power connection to them. So this had a brand new rubber on it before, so you can see the amount of dirt that's collected there. So it does do its job. I've got the 101 running back on the Heritage line now, so that's running nice and smoothly. What I tend to do is locos that are more prone to stopping or stalling for dirty track or loose connections, I often run them first, so that's an indication as to whether your track's okay or not. So let's just see what this has picked up. Not as much as the see if we can get it in there, not as much as the N-Gage one, but you can see it's picked up a bit. So a bit of ballast and a bit of dust. Just have a look at the lid, you can see all the dust there. So that's lighter, so that's gone into the top. So that's just general dust that lands on the layout, and that can potentially get into your motors of the locos, or just in the wheels of coaches and wagons. So it is worth doing it at least once a month, I'd say. Or if you haven't ran the layout for a long time, it's worth spending an hour or two going over it all with the hoover and the track cleaner first, just to make sure it's all running fine. So yeah, I'm very happy with the N-Gage wagon, as you probably gathered earlier. This loco here, it was the original. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'll do it again in case you haven't seen it. This was off one of the original Bachmann digital train sets back around 2004, 2005, and I bought it second hand. It was virtually new, but because it's not sound fitted, it's an older model. I did think about selling it, but I ended up just using it for running these, so that's its purpose now. It pulls the track cleaning wagons, because although it's a smaller loco, it's very heavy, and it can pull quite a heavy load. As you can see there, pulled these two wagons with ease. This Black 5 here wouldn't pull that wagon comfortably, not without doing it at high speed anyway. So yeah, that loco has a purpose, and I keep saying one day it'll break, and it'll go in a siding somewhere, but it just doesn't break. It just goes on and on and on. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever even cleaned the wheels on this as well, so you can see it's a bit grimy, but it never fails. So it is due a bit of a service at some point. So yeah, obviously any questions, drop them in the comments. If you've got suggestions yourself for track cleaning, drop them in the comments. I'm always willing to learn something new, as always. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, something a bit different. And thank you as always for watching. Keep an eye out for the next video, and bye for now.